Hey everyone, welcome back to Nothing Nerdy. I'm here with the Inspector Who Reacts. We're doing just audio today, um, because.
Kind of a chill chat about this little behind the scenes thing.
Yeah. It was really short. They seem to just be sticking to like an hour for these things. Nothing will ever compare to like what was it, 6 hours, 8 hours of
Oh my gosh,
the
the Mandalorian.
the Mandalorian season on behind the scenes,
Yeah,
which was
I
epic.
really did like that, and I hope we can get that again. But
I did too. I mean, they literally could like dedicate an entire episode to all these things. Like, I was disappointed. One of the things I was disappointed about was I like one of my favorite things about Loki was the soundtrack, the music, because it really set the
oh,
tone for the
wow, yeah,
entire
you're
thing,
right.
and they didn't even touch on it.
They did not talk about the music at all.
I was like, what a snub to the composer. I don't even know who the composer is,
Yeah.
but like that was one of the best things. And there's, I mean, there's that dun 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 dun,
Yeah.
like
That
it's
music was
epic.
good and memorable.
MXE, hello, how are you? Wonder
Yeah,
if it was due to low views. But I heard
maybe.
Loki was doing really well though, or
He
maybe
did,
I'm
yeah.
mistaken.
I doubt though they would kind of maybe there's just less stuff because of I feel like the virus and all that sort of stuff just made less interesting behind the scenes stuff
Mm-hmm.
per se. But yeah, there's still like yeah, the music and everything else was still stuff that they could have like mentioned or something. Or maybe there'll be like another Loki or something. Like another more behind the scenes.
Maybe next year they'll
I don't
talk
know, but
about it
yeah.
more. But the second season, Captain Spike, hello. Pretty sure the composer is famous for throwing eggs at Simon Cowell.
Oh,
Like,
for Assemble,
li-
basically the behind the scenes stuff.
like literal eggs or like metaphoric eggs. The lower numbers on the assemble, or after show for Mando. The show itself did fine.
Probably literal eggs.
Natalie Holt was the composer. Oh, okay. I'll have to.
That's a familiar name, but I can't place where I've heard it. Where else I
Well,
where else
let's
I've heard it.
Google her. I mean, we have the time. All right, Natalie Holt, Loki. Oh, egg immediately comes up. Simon Cowell immediately comes up. What is this
Wow.
nonsense?
Wait, Natalie Holt eggs. Wow.
Okay, she's a British composer and violinist. This is coming from Wikipedia, so let's see.
What's her list?
Known for Wallander, The Honorable Woman, Three Girls, and Loki. Um, Paddington. Let's
Hmm.
see. Career. Let's
Yeah,
see.
only one I recognize is Paddington.
Yeah. Where's this business about? Oh, okay. In the 2013 final of Britain's Got Talent, Holt was performing in the backing orchestra of finalists Richard and Adam. During the performance, she walked on stage and threw eggs at the judge, Simon Cowell.
Huh.
She was protesting Cowell's
Oh.
dreadful influence on the music business. Are you kidding me?
Huh.
How do you work it? How do you get a job after that?
I mean, you fight the power.
I mean, listen, I'm all about making a stand and a statement, but that's how did she not get
She make good music
that's
apparently.
like
Like her
that's
work
like assault. That's
pretty
assault.
sure.
You're throwing something at someone. Um, I mean, yes,
Anyway,
the music was incredible, but holy moly. Okay.
Loki had a very this one had a very funny start with and some very good poems with Tom Hiddleston. Like,
Yeah, I loved how he narrated this whole thing, and it was like poetry. It was very
yeah,
beautiful, and um,
I can't tell if he's quoting something or this is like something they actually wrote for him to say because
I think they
it was
wrote it
really
for
good.
him. I
What he was saying.
I'm almost certain they wrote it for him. I mean, that's how it seems. Um, but yeah, that was pretty. It was very. It's really set the tone. It was very appropriate, and um, it made it more enjoyable.
Yeah, and
Um,
like talking about time and how it affects and changes.
mm-hmm.
No, it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
really cool stuff.
Yeah, some people view it differently. Some people view it like a wheel or an arrow, and then they use that to tie into to lead into like, we started working on this February 10th, 2020, and for the next 299
Yeah,
days.
the details of when they started and how they
Mm-hmm.
spin it.
They clearly put a lot of time and effort into this, and I'm sure with COVID going on, it took even longer and
Yeah,
was even more difficult than probably it would have been. You could see in a lot of the footage they were all wearing masks. Um,
yeah, yeah.
like
This started actually like around like when COVID kind of
yeah,
hit this area, like February.
yeah. Yeah, February 20th. So I don't know if that was when they just started writing it or if that was when they went in to film it, like actually start working on it. Like,
I bet
um,
that was when the writing process started,
okay,
production and pitch and all that.
yeah.
Because Tom Hiddleston was a producer, so that he was heavily involved in the production,
Oh, was
everything
he
with production.
a producer? I don't think I realized that. Lucifer, hello, darling.
Um, yeah, yeah, he was in the credits as a producer, which is interesting.
Oh, I love when I mean, I knew this obviously from watching interviews with him, and he's been a part of this project for 11 years, as he said. But like, I just
Yeah,
always love it when you see an actor who is so passionate
and
about
everything.
what they're doing, when they're passionate about their character and they're passionate about their story and being like how they're portrayed in the movies. Because I feel like so often when it comes to these like I can't even say it, like
Franchises.
franchise, yeah, like people are like, oh, I don't want to be typecast, I don't want to be typecast, I gotta get
Yeah,
out of this, I gotta get out of this, I don't want to talk about it, don't I'm gonna do the interview, but don't talk to me about my character or anything like that. And
the
he's like,
the
just
Harrison
yeah.
effect.
Yeah. um there's a lot of actors who are like that. Yeah, I remember Christopher Eccleston was like
I
that with
get
Doctor
that. I
Who.
understand that, but I agree. I do love it when an actor embraces the thing that made them probably like put them on the map more than
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, he said he was 29 when he started as Loki, and now he's 40.
I,
um
I'm not sure if you knew this before, but it's like that he was like trying to be Thor
i
before he got.
I didn't know that until, well, I had heard about it just recently. I guess Assembled had been out and people were talking about it.
Yeah,
But prior to that, I didn't know that, and it was like, I mean, he looked good, but he just fits
he
Loki
wasn't
better.
Thor. Like, could you imagine if he was Thor? I don't think I can.
I mean, I wonder if he would have had to like really bulk up for the role, like, because I mean, as Loki, he's I mean, and as his body type,
Slimmer.
he's very long and lean. Like he doesn't
Yeah,
really.
lean.
Um, I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't work out, but I mean, like he doesn't have to bulk
I
up
mean,
the way.
they got him shirtless in this show.
Was he? Oh yeah, you're right. He was. I forgot. See, it's went right over my head. I didn't even. I guess I wasn't
Yeah, it
impressed.
was the first episode.
um,
But yeah, um, but yeah. So actually, there was like some recent videos I've been watching about like actors, like the MCU actors who auditioned for roles, like a lot of the earlier roles,
mm-hmm.
but then of course they didn't get them.
Oh
Then
really?
eventually got different roles, like Star Lord originally was auditioning for Captain America,
Really?
and
Chris
Black
Pratt?
Panther. Yeah, Black Panther was originally going to be Drax, like, and like Hiddleston could have been Thor. It's like, but what's crazy is that they see that like, okay, you're not. I don't think you're for this part, but we can use you for another part. I
Mm-hmm.
think you'd be great for this one, and I really like that.
That's cool how they don't just throw an actor away like, no, we can use you, but we want to use you where you're going to be at your best. Um,
Yeah,
Chris Pratt as, what did you say again?
Captain America.
Captain
Yeah,
America. He's too goofy. Like he's like just a goofball in
yeah.
real life, and he got to
I've
be in
seen
this
him in
role.
serious roles. He could pull it off, but yeah, I like The other Chris Evans is Cap.
That is America's ass. He's just perfect for it. That is so
Um,
funny.
yeah.
You aren't right for the Big
And
Brother.
then of course Owen Wilson could have been Thor.
What's that?
Owen Wilson Thor, or Owen Wilson Tony.
Oh, oh yeah, where he was like, yeah, I was considered for this role and that role and that role, and
I
he was
love
like, nah,
that. So
just kidding.
They like pasted. They literally pasted his face on the different characters.
That was funny. It was so weird. Like I so got used to seeing him as Mobius, like looking the way he does, and then to see him in this interview with his,
His
his
natural
hair.
like, look. Yeah.
Um,
I agree. Yeah, Mobius really suits him.
it really like he played the role so well. I don't know how else to put it.
It's kind of this one. It's like the weirdest thing where it's like, I actually it's I Mobius did not feel like Owen Wilson. Like I
Yes.
almost did, he felt like a completely different person.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I remember when, I mean, obviously I recognized him, but like not in that first second. Like
Yeah.
I was kind of like, wait a minute, is it? Is it? I'm not sure. Like it took me, a second
Yeah.
to realize that, and I was like, oh wow, it is. But he carried himself differently. He looked differently. Um,
Oh, I mean, good Ant-Man. Yeah, I guess I could see that. I could actually see that.
be interesting.
Paul Rudd as Ant-Man.
Only in America can the Human Torch become Captain America. Aw. It was cool to see the. I mean, obviously, that you could tell like Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson had good chemistry, like you see it in their acting. But it was cool to see them like behind the scenes, just chatting and laughing, and joking around, and I was hysterical when Owen Wilson was sharing the story about how like they were just like talking about Shakespeare, and like he was Tom Hiddleston was like, oh yeah, I did Hamlet, and there was like this kind of a lull in the conversation, and he very politely asked Owen Wilson, have you ever done Hamlet before? And he was like, are you kidding? Like
yeah. That's like a question he's probably never been asked.
yes. But it was very nice of him to do that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like not all, but most American actors haven't done that. But like the actors from, Britain, UK, whatever.
England.
Yeah, that's just kind of like that's just like what they do. I mean, they start out in the theater and they do Shakespeare, and like, I feel like every British actor I've ever seen is holding that skull from Hamlet at some point,
You know what? I feel it's almost like a theater right.
Yeah, yeah.
In England.
Mm-hmm. It's like just
Because
what you do.
It makes sense. That's where Shakespeare worked. That's where he existed mostly. So it's the acting tradition.
Yeah. So to ask an American actor that, I just thought that was hilarious. But it was adorable. I feel like Tom Hiddleston is just I like him more and more. Like I've said, I've been watching like a lot of behind the scenes stuff, not behind the scenes stuff, interviews with all the actors.
They showed it in this thing, but have you seen the Comic-Con thing where he dressed up as Loki in front of the crowd?
Not prior to this. Yeah, I that was really cool to see it and to hear the story, like how it was just like this idea that they had, hey, go to Comic-Con like in character, and how he got the crowd all riled up and everybody was just cheering for him, and like and they had said like in all of out of all the movies in total, he only had 2 hours of screen time.
Yeah, I was shocked how I forgot how little he actually is in these movies.
Mm-hmm. That was like even with Darth Vader from Star Wars. I don't remember what the actual time is, but he's barely in it at all, and yet he's this.
Yeah.
You
mean like the whole franchise, or just the first movie or something?
The original trilogy.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, there were 3 movies, but yeah, it's like, what is it, 30 minutes or something?
I don't remember what the time is exactly, but that it says a lot about the character, the way it's written, and the acting when they're barely in a movie or a group of movies, and they've made this impact on the fandom.
Like not just an impact in the movie, but it's just an impact on like culture and popularity. Like there are probably people who've never seen Star Wars, but they know who Darth Vader is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like the imagery, they can it's easily recognizable.
The skull is called Yorick.
Yorick. Yeah.
Ah, I never knew that.
Very,
Very interesting. Look at you. You taught me something. Let's see what else.
I was also okay, like you were talking about how like they didn't talk about the music. I was kind of shocked how little they talked about the VFX. Like there was no like real showcase of like them building like the TVA design. I mean, they did talk about it, but it felt like there was like they didn't like show like the layers of from art to script to visual.
I was too. Yeah, they mostly talked about like the environment like of the TVA. I mean, they talked a little bit about the what is it called? I can't read my own handwriting. Alioth, the storm monster. Alioth. There it is. They talked a little bit about that. Well, the inspiration behind it, but yeah, they didn't really go into details. Yeah. They talked more so about like the setting up the environments, like that planet that they were on, and then the TVA. Like that was really it.
Again, I feel like Star Wars and like other like Lord of the Rings kind of spoiled me on like behind the scenes stuff because I remember like watching Attack of the Clones stuff, and they would actually show like the layers of effects.
Yeah.
For like how like the clone army, you see the actor playing the clone, and then you see them copy him and then duplicate him, and then you see like the background of effects, and then it's honestly like again that was 20 years ago. 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. I especially enjoyed like the behind the scenes of episode 1, and they really like break down everything that they're doing. Like, I enjoy that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah. And I feel like we need more of that. Like I feel like movies don't like put that out anymore.
Mhm. How big was Loki? I mean, he wasn't my favorite character. He's still not my favorite character.
Yeah.
But
I liked him, but it's like he wasn't like a character I was always excited to see.
Mhm.
He was fun addition.
Yeah, it really wasn't until the more recent movies that he finally started to grow on me. Yeah. Like Thor, I think Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok was when he finally, I was like, oh. And when he died, I was actually like sad and happy that when he came back. So that was the moment I knew he had finally grown on me.
Yeah.
Where is Mobius's ring out of all like the MCU characters?
That's an interesting one.
That's a hard question. That's a really hard question. I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah. Again, he's interesting, but I don't know if I would put him very high.
No, I think I need more time with him.
Yeah, I definitely need a season 2 with this character.
All right, let's see. So one thing I didn't know unless I forgot was that the TVA was from the comics.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't know if that was true either, but I figured like, of course, if they're gonna pull something like this, it probably did come from the comics.
So I thought that was interesting. And then let's see what else. We talked about the different costumes, all the different Loki costumes.
Yeah.
Judge Renslayer, which first of all, I did not know that she was English, so I was very surprised to hear her accent.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
she hides it well.
yeah, she does do a good job at the accent. Yeah, she's Martha's sister in Doctor Who. So.
Was she?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, like she's Tish.
Wow, it has been so long since I watched her season that I don't even remember.
Gosh, that was 2007 or 6.
Oh my god. I feel so old. I mean, I didn't watch Doctor Who when it was like airing. Not until Matt
When did you
Smith.
start Doctor Who?
I don't remember the exact year. It wasn't until season 7. Well, okay, this I remember. It was it was after the first part of season 7. So right before the
So
second part started
around the
airing.
11th Doctor's ending,
Yeah, like the last few episodes.
and what did you just like get on Netflix and start it?
No, someone someone actually my mom worked with gave her the DVD. She was like, you and your daughter, you have to watch this. And we were like, oh, like, it's always awkward when someone like gives you a book or a movie, like, and they're like, oh, you have to watch this, you have to read this, and it's like, you really don't want to, but like you want to be polite. So we were like, all right, you know what, let's just watch the first episode. This was like, season 1, episode 1, Christopher Eccleston, whatever.
With the living plastic.
Yeah. So we watched the first episode and we were like, oh, that was good. That was good. I'm curious. So we watched the second episode, then the third, and with each episode it was like, oh, this is really good. This is actually really good. And it just got better and better and better.
Yeah.
And by the finale you were like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny is I actually like my first Doctor Who episode was the finale of series 1, which is the Daleks and all that stuff,
Mhm.
and the Doctor regenerates.
Mhm.
So, for me, having never seen the show before, I was really confused.
You're like, WTF.
I just like, okay, so here's the main enemy, which honestly they were very scary. Like it was a good introduction to these characters.
Yeah.
These Daleks. But at the same time, I was like, what just happened to the main guy? He just changed face. What happened? I don't know what happened. I had no idea what was. I had no experience in the show until that point. And then finally, the season started over, and I finally was like, oh, okay. And my dad had seen it, so he knew what was kind of going on. But he'd also never seen the new season, so it was like, oh, I need explanations too.
Yeah, I remember initially I didn't understand the whole regeneration thing. Like, my mom's coworker had to like really break it down for us, and like once we understood, we were like, okay. But it's like, and they joke about it. It's like you go through this cycle of I don't want them to leave, and then I'm not gonna like this new person. I don't like them. They're okay. They're all right. And then by the end, you're crying that they're leaving.
Yeah, it's like.
And then it starts again.
Yes, it's all over. That's the rough part.
Yeah. Anyway, we're in the wrong fandom. Sorry, guys.
Loki's very Doctor Who-ish.
Well, this is true. This was very. I mean, we said throughout the season, this was very wibbly wobbly, timey wimey with the whole time thing, and it was funny. Anyway, so Judge Renslayer, they talked a little bit about her character, about her office. It was cool to see them talking about the fight scene between her and Sylvie, watch them practicing. That was pretty cool.
I was actually shocked that Renslayer was a character from the comics. I thought she was, just something random that they made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's cool, learning all these things is, it's like I don't know who's in the comics, who wasn't in the comics, and it's cool to hear, like, no, like, this actually came from, like, these are real characters.
Yeah. And then, like, how they kind of combined, like, two characters for female Loki, for Sylvie.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So it was, Lady Loki and, what was
Enchantress?
it? Enchantress, yeah. I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that.
Which, like, both characters are basically, like, the female version of Loki, so they kind of, made it into Sylvie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she was a strong character.
Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking about this. Like, I think Sylvie would make a good Jedi or something. I think she'd make a great, like, Star Wars character.
She would. I'd like to see her as a Sith.
Sith or Jedi too. Like, it's like Wanda and then like Sylvie. It's like I want these characters to become like Force users.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool to see. Which they talked about, like, their different fighting styles, the difference between Sylvie's and Loki's.
And, like, Loki's more actually like trained and elegant, whereas Sylvie's more raw and
Yeah.
like brutal
Mhm. Yeah.
survivor.
Mhm.
Which I did agree. I do like that. I like that little bit of like character to them,
Yeah. And
uniqueness.
that's not something that I personally picked up on or would pick up on. So
Yeah.
to see that they put that much thought into it, like, we're gonna just show just how different they are, and we're gonna make their fighting style unique to them, but like it fits their personality and the life that they lived and where they're from, and let's see. Take your time, think about it, send it sometime before I forget. Oh, my top 10 or top 5. Have I ranked the characters? I know I ranked the movies.
Yeah, you ranked like a bunch of characters. I remember like it was like tier list thing, and you had like Tony at the top.
Oh, that's because I just watched the last movie.
Yeah, it was like right after Endgame or Spider-Man, I think.
I mean, it's interesting. My list will have changed because now Wanda's like one of my favorites after watching WandaVision.
I want to like look back and see where Wanda was.
I think Wanda's probably at like the bottom tier back then, and now she would be like my top 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny.
I actually do like if you ever. I'm really curious what your thoughts on like a rewatch, like sometime like one day or something, like how you like what you think of characters now that you know them better.
Yeah.
You know where they're gonna end up.
Yeah. There are certain movies that I where like they've been mentioned, and like I said, I'm watching all these interviews now, and they'll mention one of the movies. And I'm like, oh, I kind of want to go back and watch that. Like, or I forgot that these two characters had this interaction, or at some point I don't think I'm gonna rewatch all of them because there's some that were just either like too violent or I didn't really like the story. But some of them I'd like to rewatch.
Yeah.
You hated Wanda, and you don't hate anyone, hippie. It's not that I dislike them as a person. I just dislike their actions.
You were not a fan of their love.
It was just so.
To be fair, you didn't have the character development between them.
Right.
It wasn't there.
And
now it was, and I kind of understood why, but.
And I
was a big fan of one, and I was like, you're really harsh.
I don't know if this had anything to do with it, but like, of why it was rubbing me the wrong way. But like, I know they had to improvise certain scenes in certain movies. Like I know like that last scene in Endgame where she has to kill him. Like they had to improvise that scene. So maybe it didn't feel as authentic. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it was. I don't know if that played a part in it. Maybe that's why it seemed too cheesy to me. Like they were being cheesy. Like they didn't know what else to do or say, so it just came across as cheesy. I don't know. It's not that it's like the idea of one. She at the time she just came across as very melodramatic, even though she had been through a lot. But watching WandaVision made me understand her.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Yes. Well, they ask, "Are you okay?" a lot.
Back to Loki.
Yes. Let's see, they spent a lot of time talking about the city of Shiru, I think it was. That was the
name of
the planet.
The TVA world or whatever.
No. When they were on that planet that was like exploding, the meteors were hitting it. Sure.
What was it? Lamentus?
Oh, maybe that was the name of the planet. I don't know. I have City of Shiru.
Yeah. I guess the city was that where they did the final. Mm-hmm. That one long take that they stitched together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I actually did not realize that was a whole set that they built. I thought that was like parts that they shuffled together. I was actually I wasn't sure if there was any things, but I thought maybe some of Loki was on the volume. Like I always figure like the volume's gonna show up again in like these Marvel shows, and like I think Wanda used it, but I don't know if Loki used it.
The volume? What's that?
The thing the Mandalorian used, the screens.
Oh, I know what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. And I was one like I always feel like it's because it's such this brand new technology and this new thing that's like they're gonna like everyone's gonna use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't get the feeling that they did that. We saw them use like the blue screen, um, and then like actually like building this, you know,
Yeah.
world or
This
whatever.
kind of 360 set as they describe, like you can film it from any angle, which is
Mm-hmm.
a cool idea. Um,
Sure was the Salem Adventist one was the moon they were on. Okay.
yeah.
Um. Um.
What else happened?
Let's see. Um. And then they talked about the like the ending where they go to the void. It's like this barren wasteland, and they were joking, saying how much it reminded them of England.
I kind of I didn't really get that joke. I was like, what? I guess England's just so empty or something.
Well, I think that it's it's dark, like the sun's not always out, kind of gray, misty, rainy,
Yeah, I don't live there, so I was just like, I guess that's an English joke.
And they started talking about the different Lokis, and alligator Loki. I was very curious how they did that, and it was so funny to see them throwing around this blue
Little
blue alligator.
That made me laugh. I was just like the guy like holds out his hand, and somebody like chucks the blue little stuffed animal thing with it.
Yeah.
Just like, huh.
Um.
I did like how they designed it. Like they like it's an alligator, but they somehow gave it like Loki features.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, the helm. I was like, gave it like a smile in the eyes or something. Like, and I was like, you know what? I can see it now.
Yeah, it was very Loki-esque. How they managed to do that with the alligator is beyond me, but it's very impressive.
Yeah.
And that was when they talked about the storm, Eliath, and it was like inspired by like this. I don't remember what it was called, but like this volcanic ash.
Eruption. Kind
Yeah.
Of. Yeah, like the way like volcanoes
Mm-hmm.
kind of plume out and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was cool. Like I was like, the effect was always something. I was like, I feel like it didn't. I remember when I watched it, like that didn't look like smoke. That looked like something else. And it was like, oh, okay, that's what it was. That's
Yeah.
what it
Yeah. And then they break through that, and then they get to the Citadel, where they meet he who remains.
Yeah.
And
Where
they,
you meet the. I like how they described him.
mm-hmm.
Like how he's kind of like he's got like different time outfits or something, like different parts of his cultures and everything.
Yeah, like he like his clothes, his shoes, everything was all from like different times and places, and I thought that was such a cool little detail. Again, not something you would pick up on, but the fact that they
I didn't notice that at all.
wrote that detail, yeah.
But that's it's something, a neat little fact that they added.
Mm-hmm. And they compared it to like Wizard of Oz, like they wanted to have that, Wizard of Oz, man behind the curtain feel to it.
I remember you like saying that.
Well, and that's what it reminded me of. I mean, the way they were like, it reminded me of when the Dorothy and all of them were walking down that hall and approaching,
Yeah.
It had that. It definitely got that vibe across.
I've not watched that movie in a long time.
I haven't either. Like, I don't think since I was a kid.
To like see if I can find it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sure you have to be able to get that like for free on some streaming service, I would imagine. Like, if you have to pay
Probably.
for that, like, that's ridiculous. But I imagine it's for free somewhere. Um, and yeah, so then they talked about how one of the versions of him is this king that you guys were talking about.
Oh yeah, King the Conqueror,
Yeah.
who, yeah, is who He Who Remains is going to be playing, or
Mm-hmm.
one of his variants.
Yeah.
Basically. Very very curious how that's gonna pan out. Like all I know is that it's connected to Ant-Man, and that's it.
Uh-huh.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right.
It's like looks like they're gonna be dealing with time travel again.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey. I enjoy the time travel.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Again, it took me a couple episodes to warm up to their version of it because I was like, I don't get it. Like, I didn't get the purpose of it, but eventually, I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. So I'm excited for season 2 and
Yeah.
see what else they do with this. And I wonder if they'll bring any other MCU characters to
You know,
season
I
2.
get a feeling we get more cameos. It might be like Mandalorian season 2. We get cameos from famous MCU characters. Some we haven't seen, some we have already seen.
Yeah, like this was, we didn't see anybody, like, we didn't see any of the Avengers. Well, we did see what's her face from his home world, Lady
From-
something, the one who kept beating him up.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We did see Lady Sif.
Yeah, I can remember her name.
Yeah,
But she
okay,
was the only
he did
one.
show up. That was a surprise.
Yeah.
He needs to come back.
Maybe she will.
I mean, they got her back for this, so it's like she's still in their books.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that
Yeah.
was
That was pretty much it.
that was assembled. One thing that they talked a lot about, I feel like they spent a lot of time talking about, was setting up the environment for like the TVA.
Yeah.
Like
The old office.
Yeah.
And everything.
They wanted it to have an office feel. Like, there's the hierarchy, like, the big people on top, and then the people beneath them, and then the people beneath them, and down to like their attire, the suits, the jumpsuits, the
Yeah.
that was really interesting. Like, they talked about the lighting that they used, and like the low ceilings. They wanted it to feel like cramped in.
Oh yeah, that. I loved how they described the lights,
Mm-hmm.
eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I was like, I mean, I didn't notice it watching it, but it was like, after like pointing out, it's like one of those things. It's like, oh, I see it now. It's like, oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
Like, that's clever design.
Yeah, the amount of details they put into this. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And that was really it.
Yeah.
Again, it was really short, only an hour. Oh yeah, and like one of the other details was like the coffee rings on the paper. I was like, yeah, you're right. I noticed that at one point, but again, you don't really process that. Oh, that's like a detail that adds to the feel of like a busy office. You set your coffee down while you're filing through the papers, and something so minor, but it was like them pointing it out. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, that's really cool.
I mean, I know it looks like a very boring job, but I don't know. For me, it almost would feel cozy. It's something about that kind of like design just feels cozy.
Yeah. Get a job in an office and you'll see how it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was really it. I always love coffee stains on a report or folder.
Yeah, it gives that.
I sense some
aged
sarcasm.
feel.
Yeah. And that was Loki Assembled, Season 1.
Yep. Hope we get more assembled.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I guess with each series and season.
Another thing about Clone Wars got any like behind the scenes
No.
stuff?
I know, and that would have been
the Mandalorian did?
that would have been interesting because I know that well, there was some footage about the fighting sequence.
There was that. That is all I know. But everything else, like any other like talk about like
No.
bringing the show back and everything, or new things or changes, like yeah, no, there was none of that. None of that. I would actually like to maybe for Bad Batch, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt they would, but it would actually be interesting to see, like, just the conversations that they had, and I'm sure there's so many details that go into it that we don't even know about.
And Marvel's got a new cartoon on the way, an animated series.
Oh yeah, which one?
Which is What If, and that's in August.
Uh-huh. Okay, cool.
So excited to see about what that's about, and I hope we get some like another assembled, but animation.
That would be cool if they did that. I had a lamp in my office from the 50s, which totally fit in that show. It absolutely would. Get like a nice lava lamp, All right. Well, I guess that is it.
Yeah, that wraps up Loki.
Mm-hmm. We will be back on Friday for the next episode of The Bad Batch. We're doing another watch party. You guys would like to join us then. Let's see. I don't know when, but I heard they were doing an assemble for Black Widow. Oh, cool. That I'd like to see.
That, yeah, that actually would be something I'd like to see.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, guys. I'm going to be heading on over to Twitch. We're going to do Star Wars Squadrons again because I had fun with that on Monday. So if you guys would like to come and hang out, you're more than welcome to join us. Otherwise, we shall all see you on Friday. All right?
Yep.
Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of the night, and we will see you all soon. Bye.